Flight boss, bitch. For sure. I listen to the Mind Eminent Terry Smooth. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, this is a time to be wise, and also this is a time period where you may experience tough luck. I repeat, this is a time to be wise, and this is tough luck. Now, anytime we're going through a dominant transit and a certain alignment, it has a theme to it. So right now, we got Jupiter in the early degrees of Sagittarius, and we got Mars in the early degrees of Pisces. So when we talk about Mars in Pisces, this is tough luck. When we talk about Jupiter in Sagittarius, this is a time to be wise. Now, like I said, when we talk about fourth, fifth, and sixth dimensional attributes, there is no such thing as good or bad, or right or wrong. It's only what's relative. So what's relative to you could be something that's good for you, or it could be something that's bad for you. It could be something that's right for you, or it could be something that's wrong for you. And that's where we start to get into your own personal alignment and your own chart, your own ego. But for the most part, knowing how you can relate yourself to the realm that you are in is how you can rise above these waters and utilize these energy currents for yourself, and don't get washed up in the current to the point that you're going against waves. You're going to get waves, and then it's a motherfucking wipeout. So we're going to get into the energies that we're going to get ready to experience. Now check this out, right? Now when we talk about Jupiter being in Sagittarius, now y'all been feeling this for a little bit, but it's still on the cusp because it's 2 degrees. So you still feel the energies of Jupiter being in Scorpio also. So people still keeping on their wisdom and their knowledge and what they have developed wisdom on, and now what they know now, they're still keeping that hidden to a small degree, but slowly but surely it's finding itself out. So for the most part, if you got any type of skeletons in your closets or things of that nature that other people can experience within your realm of reality that you don't want them to experience, the time is up, and these things is going to get ready to come to the light, and it's going to force you into a circumstance or situation where you're going to have to develop some type of wisdom or knowledge from it, because we're talking about Jupiter. Now Jupiter is experiences, wisdom, knowledge, and meanings and reasonings, which ultimately by default cause expansion, whether it's physically or whether you're into something like a business or your health or whatever situation that you're into, a relationship, or it could be expansion spiritually. But in order for you to have any kind of expansion, you have to go through experiences. So Jupiter is like that lightning strike that comes down your life. And a lightning strike is an idea. And when it strikes down, it creates a circumstance and a situation. And that circumstance and a situation, when you see lightning in it, what happens? You see an enlightenment, right? When you see thunder and lightning, when you see lightning happen when it's thunderstorming, right? All the street lights could be out. But when you see that lightning strike, you see things light up. So in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, when that happens to you, this is a Jupiterian aspect right here. So it helps you get enlightened. Your inner storm helps you get enlightened about a circumstance or a situation that you are in. So regardless of if the experience play out negative or if it play out positive, it is in order for you to extract wisdom and knowledge and place new meanings and reasonings on that experience, and by default that cause expansion. So this is why Jupiter also represents expansion. So when we got Jupiter, and now Jupiter loves to be in Sagittarius, so keep that in mind. But you need to know these transits is not a respecters of a person's. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no entity out here as a respecter of one individual. You know what I'm saying? So you got to keep that in mind. Ain't no favoritism being played here. So any type of theology or religion telling you that there's a form of favoritism going on right now, that's a white flag that you need to throw up. But for the most part, these energies is out here is what we all have access to, and we're all experiencing it. So you need to determine how this experience is for you. So when we talk about Jupiter being in Sagittarius, right? This is going to cause overall expansion within all of our experiences, right? So regardless if the experience come negative or positive, it is going to force us to extract wisdom and knowledge. Now, these experiences is going to be high volatile, very expressive, very creative, very insightful, and something that a large amount of people can view and have their own perspective on it. Because when we talk about Sagittarius, this is mutable fire. Anytime we talk about the mutable signs, they're mobile. So they like to look at things from a broad perspective. So each mutable sign look at things from a broad perspective due to their own element. So fire may look at things from a broad perspective in a fire way, which is a broad perspective of ways of seeing and feeling about things and creativity and expression. Water will be Pisces. The mutable water be Pisces. The mutable fire is Sag. Now the mutable water is Pisces. So this would be mutable ways of dealing with the emotions and feelings, aka vibrations and emotional frequencies being thrown amongst the realm of reality to be felt before it become physical. So that's the experiences that you may experience when you got Jupiter and or when we talk about the mutable sign, not Jupiter in water, but for the most part, just Pisces in general as a mutable sign. They look at the emotions and feelings from a broad perspective. You see what I'm saying? So they can understand where you're emotionally coming from, and sometimes they can understand themselves, but sometimes they can get too lost into other people to the point that they lose themselves into other people's concerns and things of that nature. So they like to look at the emotions and feelings from a broad perspective. So by default, this may make Pisces wise. When we get into Geminis, they look at air, which is mutable air, being mutable and being able to adapt to their own or other people's ways of thinking and communicating. So they look at forms of air from a broad perspective. You see, they know how other people think. They because sometimes they can lose themselves into other people's thoughts, but then they know how to rationalize. So they can be dual-sided and things of that nature, and they come from a broad perspective. And then when you get to like then Sagittarius, so that's no Virgo. Then Virgo is mutable earth, being mutable and being able to adapt to its own or other people's ways of thinking and being practical. So for the most part, they look at the earth energy from a broad perspective. So when you look at Jupiter right now being in Sagittarius, this is giving everybody a broad perspective of something right now. And it's an experience that everybody can look towards to be able to extract wisdom and knowledge or place new meanings and reasonings on this experience. So for the most part, these experiences are going to be very fast. They're going to come very creative. You see what I'm saying? They're going to come very rapid. You know what I'm saying? And it's not going to come as fast and explosive. It's not going to come as subtle. So fast and explosive will be Aries. Subtle will be Leo. It's going to come scattered. It's going to come in other angles, high angles, low angles, angles you may not have seen. So these experiences that you go through may hit you at an angle that you didn't even know that was coming. So these very new experiences may just happen. So be careful with putting too much of your time into things that doesn't correlate to your own state of being, because it can destroy you. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. Find yourself dealing with people that might get you hurt and things of that nature. So it goes into a lot of scenarios right now. And then when we talk about Mars being in Pisces, when we talk about Mars being in Pisces, now this is why I call it tough luck. Because tough luck, now when we talk about Mars, this is aggression, anger. That's on the negative side. But it could be intent, willpower, passion, motivation, and desires, and a person's alternative motives, and your ability to reach your goals, and your ability to go through boundaries and restrictions and limits. So for the most part, that's Mars. But then when you got it in Pisces, Pisces is mutable water, being mutable and being able to adapt to its own or other people's ways of dealing with the emotions and feelings. So off the bat, a person's intentions right now and everybody's passions is wrapped up into their dreams, illusions, creativity, imagination, how they emotionally feel about things, how they think other people may feel about things, and things of that nature. And Mars doesn't really work well into being relatable. Mars like to get out and do things on its own. So when it has to sit back and see how its actions going to affect the surroundings and people around it, then that's going to make Mars frustrated. So a lot of times you may be creatively frustrated at the moment. Hard to find ways to bring your creativity down to foundations. Or whatever you're passionately involved in to maybe a form of an illusion, and it could put you in a situation where you may experience tough luck, or you may experience getting destroyed in some way, shape, or form. So you got to keep that in mind also. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you're passionately involved in, whatever you're putting all your intentions into, all your aggression, all your motivation into, could be the same thing that's blinding you at the moment, because we got Mars going through Pisces. So a lot of people got blind faith based upon their goals right now. And then when you got Jupiter being in Sagittarius, everybody is going to experience that. So because everything that your state of being is into is going to manifest that experience. So whatever your state of being is in, Jupiter is going to expand that. So for the most part, if you're in a negative state of being, Jupiter is going to bring a negative experience. If you're in a positive state of being, Jupiter is going to bring a positive experience. But the only thing is you got to get with the energy because it's very fast. It's fire. So if you're not developing any, when we talk about Sagittarius, that's mutable fire, being mutable and being able to adapt to its own or other people's ways of seeing and feeling about things. So if you're not observing other people's actions, if you're not obtaining any wisdom and knowledge from your circumstance or situation, if you're not placing new meanings and reasonings on the experiences that you're going through, and you're just constantly going into a routine without utilizing the wisdom energy, without utilizing that river from Jupiter, then you're going to be going against the wave, because in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension, that's like you creating a firmament, not trying to realize or have any wisdom amongst the current that you're in, aka the current circumstance or situation or the affairs that you're going through. So you're just basically want to go along, and that may have worked when Jupiter was in Scorpio and when Jupiter was in Libra, but right now Jupiter is in Sagittarius, so it's a time to be wise. So keep that in mind. And if you're playing situations where you like to act dumb and you don't want to be wise in any circumstance, it's going to go against your favor because you're going against the wave in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. So for the most part, when we talk about Sagittarius and Jupiter, right now is a time to be enlightened, and it's coming electric fast. So try not to play dumb in any circumstance or situation that you're going through right now, based upon you trying to get your desires or your pleasures, because it's been going that way. Right now you're going to learn. That's what Jupiter is bringing. You're going to learn today. You're going to learn today, just like motherfucking Kevin Hart said. So for the most part, and it's only for the sake of wisdom. And once you rise above this, you'll understand it doesn't matter what experience you experience, it was for the form of wisdom. And all wisdom and knowledge is great towards your spiritual growth. You see what I'm saying? So for the most part, we got Jupiter in Pisces, and we got Jupiter in Sagittarius, and we got Mars in Pisces. So right now this is a square also. So anytime we have a square, this is a learning process. So right now what we're all getting ready to experience is we're gonna have to take our experiences, our wisdom and knowledge, meanings and reasonings, and we're gonna have to learn how to put some intent, some aggression behind that, some motivation, some passion. So you're going to have some passion about your wisdom. Even if you have to passionately tell someone else some advice, or you have to passionately express yourself in wisdom in some way, shape, or form to shape the circumstance in the way that it's supposed to be, because it's fire. So fire is shapeless and formless. So right now, this is where things can melt. So when we talk about your circumstance and situation, that's physical in the fourth, fifth, and sixth dimension. So if you want your situation to transform, you need to add some fire. You need to add some imagination. You need to add some action. You need to add some passion at the moment. And if you want your situation to transform into your favor, you need to make sure that you're doing it within these energies, which is make sure that you're changing with wisdom and knowledge, and you're not just changing based upon going against or opposing a person, place, or thing within your life, and you're not aware of the elements that's going on right now in the transits. You get it? So, for the most part, make sure your passions, motivations, and desires is not wrapped up in an illusion, because right now your dreams and imaginations is what you're going to be passionately involved in right now, and it's going to force you to do that in some way, shape, or form, because we're all washed up by the current to a certain degree, but it's just how we understand how to relate and swim. We won't get drowned. You know what I'm saying? So for the most part, when you got Mars and Pluto right now, right, this is when you take your intent, willpower, passions, and motivations and desires, and those are going to be forced and focused on your dreams and imagination. Now, for the most part, we all got dreams and imaginations, but they could play out in two ways. They could either play out as you being in an illusion, or it could play out as it being seen as creativity. So we all have a dream and imagination, but is yours going to be seen as an illusion or creativity? And then when we got Mars here, that's what's going to actually happen. So you have to be careful right now and make sure that you are aware of what's going on in your surroundings, and not just being aware of what's going on within your dreams and what you passionately want to express at the moment because it was on your imagination. You know what I'm saying? Especially for people who got low vibrational deep thoughts at the moment. People could be in killing states right now. You know what I'm saying? It's based upon cheating, relationships, and things of that nature. People could be in murdering mentalities right now with Mars and Pluto and Jupiter and Sagittarius. And Jupiter would straight up expand that shit. I'm going to go live tonight, too, to talk about how happy flight day tomorrow to all the Sagittariuses, and how the sun being a Sagittarius is going to affect all signs. You see what I'm saying? I'm coming live. So, but for the most part, just getting into Yeah, Jupiter in Sagittarius is gonna make sure you experience whatever state of being that you are in, so you can develop the wisdom and knowledge out of it, like your spirit wants to. And Mars is gonna make you be passionately involved into your dreams and imagination. So if you're a low vibrational person and a lot of your dreams and imagination is to do a whole bunch of low vibrational shit, you're gonna feel extra energy to go for it right now because Mars is in Pisces. So you're gonna feel the extra energy to have intent, passion, motivation, and desires for every time people were snapping you out of your daydream when Mars was in Aquarius, and you was just like, yeah, fuck that daydream. Now it ain't gonna be like that. Now it's gonna be like, motherfucker, don't take me out of my motherfucking daydreaming right now, or my creative bag right now. I'm in my bag right now. So you really gonna be in your bag right now. All musicians, everybody gonna really be in their bag, and they're not gonna want to be blocked, because anytime somebody try to stop them, Mars don't like road blockages. So Mars is your passions. So anytime a person, place, or thing play as a road blockage to your passion, Mars will turn into the negative side, the masculine side of it, and play out as anger and aggression instead of the intent, willpower, passion, and motivation. So for the most part, everybody could be blinded by what they're passionately into at the moment, and it may not even make sense, or it may not even be logical, because like I said, water is right brain, and then we got Jupiter in the right brain also. It is in fire, so it's in the masculine portion of the right brain. You know what I'm saying? So everything is in the gut space right now, these right hearts and things of that nature, so you have to keep that in mind. So don't get washed up by the current. Don't let whatever you're lost as an illusion in, that you're passionately into, don't let that be an illusion to create an experience that Jupiter going to bring into your life by being in Sagittarius at a rapid pace to make your ass gain wisdom and knowledge about whatever state of being that you was in the first goddamn place. Yeah, time to wisen up. This is a time to be motherfucking wise right now, and this is also tough luck with Mars being in Pisces. Flight boss, bitch, goddamn air. Ee-hee.